Hi everyone, I'm Journey91 and welcome to my League of Legends champion guide on Malphite, the Shard of the Monolith. While there are goofy people out there who try and build him as an AP carry, at the end of the day, Malphite is a strong tank with heavy damage output. Malphite serves as a great beginner tank for newer players and can really lock the enemy team down in the hands of a more experienced player. It doesn't seem Malphite has gotten a lot of love lately, but he really is a fun champion. Starting out, I'll pick between Teleport, Exhaust, and Flash as my summoner spells. I've been experimenting a lot with switching out Teleport with Flash. To me, they're sort of 50-50. Teleport is great for getting around quickly to help out teammates and pick up some extra farm, but Flash is just so key for tower diving, positioning, and escaping that I really tend to miss it when I don't have it. Exhaust is another spell that can sometimes be necessary on Malphite because he can have a very hard time catching up to champions who are trying to run away, and Exhaust is great to use on an enemy carry in a team fight. As for my runes, I like to use Magic Pen Marks, Health and Armor Seals, Magic Resist Glyphs, and Health Quintessences. If I had the IP, I would probably get Movement Speed Quintessences, so definitely give them a try if you do have them. As the game begins, pick up your Regrowth Pendant and a Health Potion. If you have the opportunity to go top solo, definitely take it. The more farm you have, the better off you'll be, and you'll be pretty much unkillable thanks to your shield, as long as you don't overextend. Going bottom with your carry is perfectly viable too, which is what this guide will be focusing on since that's where the action will really be. Level up your Q first. It's a great harassment tool and will really let you poke enemy champions. However, only poke if it allows you to zone the enemy champions out or pick up a quick kill. Malphite is a very mana-hungry champion, especially early game. Let your partner get most of the minion kills, and try and stay in your lane until you have at least enough gold to complete your Philosopher's Stone and possibly get your Boots of Speed. When you finally hit level 6, you will really become a force to be reckoned with in lane. Because you have more mana regen at this point, you can use your skills more often to eat chunks of your enemy's health. With that said, your ult is an immensely powerful tool to get your team kills at all stages of the game, but, especially early on, avoid using it unless you can guarantee a kill out of it. One of Malphite's greatest weaknesses, aside from the heavy mana cost of his abilities early game, is the fact that his ult is on such a long cooldown. You can use it to pop out of bushes to surprise your enemy, and especially early game, you can use it to tower dive extremely effectively. Tower dive with care though. I would only recommend doing so if you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can get the kill, and if you have good communication with your lane partner. Get your Heart of Gold as soon as you are able to, when your lane is secure, and preferably when your ult is on cooldown. As you enter mid-game, again, I encourage you to refrain from roaming around unless you have your ultimate up. Try and stay in your lane and at least get the enemy team's turret down before you start scooting around the map. At this point, you will want to have gotten your Sorcerer Boots and start working on your Sunfire Cape. Sorcerer Boots are usually considered kind of a strange choice for a tank, but the magic penetration on them helps quite a bit with Malphite's damage. The enemy should not really be focusing you with crowd control, so there really shouldn't be a need for Merc Treads. But if you are finding yourself dealing with a heavy melee team, picking up Ninja Tabby isn't really a bad option. They're pretty cheap, offer you a nice bit of armor, and sometimes that dodge can mean the difference between living or dying. I find Sunfire Cape to be especially tasty on Malphite because of all the AoE damage you will already be doing with Brutal Strikes and Ground Slam. As a side note, always remember to activate Brutal Strikes before hitting Ground Slam for an extra boost in damage, because Ground Slam gets bonus damage from the armor you have. Usually at this point of the game, little skirmishes will begin happening in the middle lane. Bursting into mid from a bush into a crowd of enemy champions with your ult can be absolutely devastating, providing your team is there to back you up. Try and squeeze in as much farm as you can whenever there isn't threat of a team fight. You'll want to be building your Heart of Gold into a Randuin's Omen at this point, as well as turning your Philosopher's Stone into a Shirelia's Reverie. As you get into the end stages of the game, you will be a heavy-hitting, tanky Rock of Death. It is your job to get up in the enemy's face, ult and ground slam the group, and use your Seismic Shard to focus down and slow the enemy's carries. Make sure you activate Randuin's Omen as soon as you get into the middle of the team, as its AoE slow can really cripple any enemy squishy champions who are trying to position themselves out of your way. Use your Shirelia's Reverie from the middle to end of the fight to allow your teammates to pick off the stragglers, or to run away if the fight isn't quite going your way. Pick up a Frozen Heart to give you an even stronger slow and more armor. For your last item, you may want to get a Force of Nature or a Banshee's Veil to round out your magic resist, or even a Warmog's. It will scale with your passive shield quite a bit and make you super tanky and scary. Calling Malphite a one-trick pony is a bit of an unfair blanket statement, but it is mildly true. While you can do quite a bit of damage and you can really cripple the enemy team with your abilities, Proper use of your ultimate will really be what decides how useful you are. While it is almost always better to have the cooldown available for a team fight, sometimes you may have the choice to use it to save a teammate or to pick up a kill your team would not be able to get otherwise. You will have to do a quick mental calculation to figure out if it's worth it to use your ult in whatever situation you're in. Remember, as long as your ultimate is not up, for the most part you will not really be able to initiate team fights. However, as you level up your ult and its cooldown becomes shorter and shorter, you can start using it a little more freely, but again, use discretion. People will argue that Malphite's ability as a tank pales in comparison to more well-tuned champions like Rammus and Alistar, but I think Malphite is a great option for players trying to ease themselves into the tanking role, mostly because Malphite has no skill shots and does primarily AoE damage. Your ult and initial AoE burst can be absolutely lethal to a team, especially if coupled with another strong AoE champion like Annie. If you can get the enemy team to rage quit 20 minutes in, you'll know you're doing it right. For more specific information about my masteries, runes, skill order, and build order, check this video's description. I hope you found this guide helpful, and please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel if you'd like more guides like these. Thanks for watching, and good luck in the Rift!